What's up? Welcome back to part 2. Well, this isn't really a part 2 of How to Dress Better. This is How to Dress Better 2.0. A lot of these will overlap with some of the stuff that I've already talked about. The first thing I want to talk about is details of the garment. How was the garment made? Is it really delicate? Can you tell that there was a lot of thought behind it, artistry, craftsmanship behind the piece that you're wearing? A detail can also be a very good way to change up a completely simple outfit. And then we have layer items. A lot of layering will add such visual interest. This is also a very useful tip when you're photographing clothing, when you're styling clothing. Layer items, it'll make your outfit look absolutely phenomenal. And then look into the construction of garment, just like the detail. It's kind of like how the garment was constructed, the methods behind it, the pleating, the ruching, the stitching, the overall idea of it. But you know, if something is artisanally crafted, somebody had to sit there and think outside of the box as to how to create this garment, then definitely it's an item worth owning. And then we have functionality of the garment. A lot of inspiration for a lot of really big designers are clothing that is designed for a functional use. So clothing for fencing, armor, so, you know, sportswear, gymnastics wear, ballet wear, and really think about the long-standing traditions that already exist, how you can borrow from that, the silhouettes that you can borrow from that. And then I'd say kind of trace the history of the garment. So when you are looking at a certain shirt and you like that, try to step back and see who did it first, or who was the first person to think of clothing like this. And then I'd say look at biology and nature. Nature gives us these really beautiful complex shapes and colors and ideas. And then we have look at artwork, installation, films, and cartoons. I look at a lot of different reference points just because I like watching movies and I like expanding my visual kind of library. And whenever you're watching different movies, be cognizant of like what people are wearing, what looks good, what doesn't, and just maybe take some screenshots, you know, and look at really old vintage photos. Vintage photos will give you so many ideas, you know. And then we have embrace simplicity. Sometimes when you don't know what to do, the best thing is to do nothing and just wear a plain white shirt and a plain white pair of pants. Monotonous, simple, one color or two tones, and just embrace simplicity. And then I'd say avoid tacky patterns. Your eyes will start refining when you look at more and more images. So when in doubt, avoid tacky patterns. Avoid really large, obnoxious colors. Those are a little harder to kind of master. So I'd say just avoid those things for now. And then I'd say avoid monograms, Gucci belts, or shirts, stuff like this. It'll just make you look like a 13-year-old YouTuber that lives in LA, and you don't want to look like a 13-year-old YouTuber that lives in LA. But if you are looking into monograms, there's a really cool way to do that. Involve some artistry in there. Like we have some really cool 90s monogram jumpsuits that Dapper Dan came up with. These kind of completely revolutionized the hip-hop scene in the 90s. So there's like a history towards the ideology of what he's doing with monograms. So if you can add artistry to that, then do that. But I'd say for the most part, avoid monograms. And then I'd say don't buy from retail brands that mass produce. Here is a shit ton of brands that, you know, are mass producing, so maybe just avoid. You have to make sure that the garments in your closet have longevity, and you don't have to be buying new clothes every few days. And then travel and support local artisans. You don't have to travel somewhere really far away. You could just support your local artisans in Dhaka, and you can support your local artisans in the nearest country. Or even if you go to like rural area of Bangladesh, there's always going to be people that are creating art, and definitely support them. That will show to a more worldly closet. And then the last thing I want to talk about is explore concepts when you're kind of designing clothes, or when you're trying to figure out what to wear. Here is a really beautiful video from Hussein Shalain's show. makes these really beautiful dresses that are self-automated. Maybe he's trying to explore what clothing might look like in the future and basically just ask questions. What is the future of clothing? You know, will there be a distinction between menswear and women's wear, or will it just all kind of blend together? You know, are we gonna all end up in kind of like a post-apocalyptic, very monotonous kind of state? You know, so we really don't know, so ask questions. You know, fashion should make you confident, but it shouldn't make you shit on people that are still learning. At the end of the day, it's just clothes. None of this really matters, because if a killer virus takes over the earth, it will be the essential workers and the intellectuals that are working to solve that problem, and not people that are dressed super nicely. So at the end of the day, none of this matters. So dress how you want to dress. Listen to me, don't listen to me. Don't take yourself too seriously. It doesn't matter. Wear whatever the fuck you want to wear, you know. I hope you like watching this video, and like, comment, subscribe. It'll let me know you guys are liking the content that I'm making, and I'll make more content like this. Yeah, so I'll see you soon.